What's up, boys? I waited way too long to make this video. Groups starts in 2 hours, but I'm gonna go through all my picks real quick. Just give the quickest of rundowns for why I picked why I think this is going there, and yeah, we'll do that real quick. So Group A, it's pretty straightforward. Probably the most surprising thing I have is G2 last, and I'll be honest, I don't know a lot about Buffalo over here. But G2 was probably, in my opinion, the worst looking team in the play-ins. So, god damn it. Worst looking team in the play-ins. Flash Wolves looked really good at MSI. And Afrika Freaks are an unknown, so it would not surprise me if Flash Wolves took first in this pool. But I'm a pretty big Keen fan, and I just think Afrika's going to make it out of this group just fine. I'm going to put them at first. That's just what I do. This group is definitely my NA bias showing. Group B, I originally had Genji as 2, which is what I think most people have. Some people even have Cloud9 last, which is fair. They played horribly in the play-ins, but I felt like a lot of their problems were draft oriented. Like they were experimenting way too much with shit that just like didn't end up working. It's things that could have worked. Like Thresh Draven bot lane is totally just a kill lane, and it makes sense for that to work, but it just didn't, whether that be the skill of their players or like the meta isn't quite there. But I think if they can iron all of that out, they'll do okay at Worlds. Will they make it through? Probably not. I would say Genji is definitely the safer bet because they get a playoff buff. But honestly, if they had been a lot cleaner in play-ins, this would have been like my legitimate pick and not just an NA meme dream. But just because Genji looked really bad throughout the year. But since Cloud9 looked really bad, I'd say this is way more likely, this right here, but I'm gonna give it to Cloud9 anyway. That's NA dreams. This one I can defend a whole lot more heartedly. KT should be fine. They're legit probably the favorites to win this tournament. It's either them or RNG, whoever you're talking to. I think that's a lock. Team Mad, I don't know enough about. I don't watch LMS. It's one of the only regions I don't watch, but I have to put them down there just because of lack of information, and because the other 3 teams in this group are honestly really strong. This is actually pretty similar to a group of death if I were to compare the two. Now, Liquid isn't NA bias, maybe, but a post I saw said that Edward Gaming is Team Liquid with a better mid laner, and I basically agree with that. I'd say that every member on Edward Gaming goes toe for toe with their counterpart on Liquid, except Pobelter and shit, I can't think of the Edward Gaming mid laner. Scout, I'm pretty sure. But in the top lane, I think Impact absolutely has the edge over Ray. I think that's a given just from their C9 days, and even now. Ray was a monster in play-ins, but against stronger competition, he had the worst top lane stats in LPL. So Impact is really strong in Worlds. So I think I give it to Liquid. It'll be close, and it is possible for EDG to pick it up and just win because they were far and away the best team in the play-ins. So it's possible, but I'm gonna give it to Liquid for this one. Maybe NA bias, but definitely no NA bias in Group D. This one, I think 100 Thieves has no shot. There is a world, I'll explain this once I explain Invictus. There is a world where I see this as the draw, right? I see this as a possible draw. Not likely, but possible. But that has less to do with 100 Thieves. 100 Thieves would have to figure a lot out for that to happen and for them to even like have a chance in this group. But what is also a possibility is an Invictus Gaming just self-destructing. And I think Frost said this in the Euphoria podcast. Shout out to Frost, now in EU. Not back in. It's her first time in EU. But she said that Invictus Gaming probably has the greatest chance of self-destructing. They are a fairly young team. They have a lot of volatile, aggressive players. And there's a chance that it just doesn't work out in their group. And they just completely fall flat. But to be honest, Invictus is my team. They're my pick to win all of Worlds. They're like my sleeper pick to win Worlds. So maybe that's me being the shy fanboy, but I could see it happening. Now, Fnatic, just real quick to give some credit to an EU team. I didn't even talk about Team Vitality because I don't see them. I think they play spoiler, but I don't think they actually like have a chance in the group. Fnatic, on the other hand, I literally think cannot fall out of this group. I just don't see them being weaker than any of the teams in this group. I think they are an even match with Invictus at their peak. So if Invictus completely falls off the face of the earth, Fnatic will be fine. If 100 Thieves steps up and becomes gods, I think Fnatic will be fine. And G-Rex looked good in play-ins, but their play-in performance was not enough to convince me that they will be able to tackle Fnatic or a full power Invictus Gaming. So these are my picks. Pretty much went over everything. Again, I see a world where Flash Wolves beats or places first over Afrika. I think Genji for a second seed here is actually more likely, but I'm going to lock in this anyway. Luckily, I don't have to worry about semis and quarters groups for a while, or placings for a while. But I'm pretty confident with this. There's nothing too outrageous. I'd say probably the most outrageous is the Cloud9. And the rest is pretty standard. All right, hope you guys enjoyed. Pretty simple. I'll do another video for World Cup Overwatch and another video when the next stage of PickEms comes out. Hope you guys enjoyed. Peace.